Hey there. So I wanted to offer a couple of power chord alternatives. There's one alternative that I've been using a lot in my recent playing. Been asked what type of chord it is, and I say, oh, it's just a regular power chord. But maybe this will help explain it, and also give another couple of alternatives. Because maybe there'll come a time where you have an injury in your fretting hand, or maybe you have a disability in your fretting hand, and you can't play a normal or regular power chord with ease. Well, you don't have to. There's alternatives out there. And that is the good thing about guitar playing. More often than not, there is, one or two different ways to play something. So yeah, always try and find what's comfortable for you and make your own style from it. So yeah, there's three alternatives I can offer in this video for power chords. But what is a power chord? I don't hear you asking. Well, it's essentially this. That's a G power chord there. If you have perfect pitch, or even if you don't, you might hear that that's not G. It's an F sharp. This is tuned down half a step. Let's pretend that's G, and we'll make things a bit easier, mainly for me here. So the power chord is essentially the root note, which is a G, the third fret of the low E, and then we're going to add on a note which is a fifth interval away from that G, which is the D, fifth fret of the A string, and you create that fifth chord or power chord. Now I played a major scale to get to that fifth interval. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could play a minor scale and still get that same fifth above that root. You could play a Mixolydian scale, and it's the same fifth interval above. I'm sidetracking a wee bit. You don't need to know this, but there's some context of why that fifth chord was the same, whether it was major, minor, Mixolydian. Be different for Locrian. But that's why us guitarists can keep things simple and we don't ruin songs as much as some say we do. So there's the context there. So that's that G power chord. We can add in the octave of the G as well, which would be the fifth fret of the D string. So you could play that many different ways. I like to play with my pinky, barring the fifth fret of the D, the A and the D. Because I like to try and build the strength of my pinky. You could use your third finger, maybe your second finger. You could use three fingers. A couple different variations there. But let's say you don't want to play like that, because bringing your wrist around, you don't like to do that. And sometimes when I'm sitting, I don't like to play power chords down here. Or even when I'm standing, actually, I find that just a little bit troublesome. Well, here's one alternative. Here's the one finger method. So if we stick with that G power chord, but disregard that low E string, we're just going to play the fifth fret of the A and the D. That's actually an inversion, but it's the same notes essentially, just that our bottom note happens to be the D, or the fifth, and the next note above is the root again. So you can play that with one finger there. Pick any finger you like, middle finger, third, fourth. You can use two fingers. Then it's not technically the one finger chord, but it's the same type of chord. And that's easy enough to slide around there. And I use that method when playing Def Leppard's Take What You Want, which gives you a full drop D sound. I didn't have to tune the low string down to drop D, I could just play those chords with the one finger method. And that open chord there, it's like an inverted drop D chord essentially. So there's one method, and I was going to call it the Steve Clark chord, because I'm sure, I don't have my source, which is very bad, but I'm sure I heard Joe say Steve used to play one finger chords, and I like to think that was it there. Okay? Now the next one I took from Michael Landau, but I think it'd be like a Jimi Hendrix type thing. But I first learned this when I covered a song by this Japanese artist called Mari Hamada. The song was Return to Myself, and there was some cool footage of Michael Landau and a couple of other session guys in the studio recording it, and he was playing chords like this. So if we stick with that G chord again, what I'm adding there is I've got that the fifth fret of the A and the D string still there, which I'm playing with my third finger and fourth finger respectively. But with my first finger, I'm barring the third fret of the B and the high E, which is basically the same notes again. This gives me that chord again up an octave higher, which makes it sound a lot fuller, a lot bigger. You get that high-end sheen and bite coming through. And that's why I really like that, because I feel it makes the guitar sound a little bit less muddy. Okay, I realised editing there, I forgot to mention one major thing with that Michael Landau chord, and why I like it so much is just sit with a guitar and put your hand on the neck. You're already doing the shape for that chord. That's why I like it so much, because it feels as though you're not even changing your resting position. It's like, right, pick up your guitar, here it is, I'm actually playing that chord straight away, picking it up. And also, if you're someone who likes to use your thumb, you could actually bring your thumb in there and do like a proper, I don't know if that's a Stevie Ray Vaughan type thing, but there you go, there you have an even fuller power chord with that. But that's why I think it's a lot easier to play like that, rather than bringing your whole first finger around for that bar. Okay, I forgot to mention that. That's the whole reason for the video, really. It wasn't, but I just want to make sure that, yeah. And also, Mixolydian, of course it was Lydian. And of course it's girls, oh, you haven't got there yet. But of course it's girls, 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 and not Dr. Feelgood. Enjoy. So you can only really do that on chords where the root is starting on the low E. Again, we're not using it, but you know, for let's say your C power chord starting on the third fret of the A string, you can't really do the same thing and get that high end sheen. You can get one of the notes there, the fifth, but you don't quite get that same full sound. And I'm sure I saw Mick Mars would play like that also on the opening of is the opening chord of Dr. Feelgood. There's a live video where he's kind of doing that shape. So I'm pretty sure it's not the bar chord. Again, you know, you're actually not playing that G string in there. The G string in that shape would dictate where it's the major or minor. But if you just mute that, don't play it, you can get away with it and do the power chord shape, okay? And then the last one, I don't know if this is easier to play, but it is a bit of a funny one. This was from Neil Schon, and I think I saw it on a couple of tracks, but mainly on Don't Stop Believing, when he gets to this bit. So we're just having to move the G sharp there just because of this chord shape, but he's hitting the fourth fret of the low E with his pinky. And then instead of doing the sixth fret of the A string, he's not playing the A string, he's playing the first fret of the D string. So again, you have to do a bit of string muting. You're going to mute the A string in between. But hey, you might find that that's the most comfortable power chord method out there. And if it is, that's great, go for it. I just found that quite funny, and I thought, is Neil just making it hard for the sake of being hard? But no, in the context of that riff, you know, he's doing he's going up to that E flat note there, and he wants the chord. So yeah, just add on your pinky down here. So maybe not an easier alternative, but an alternative nonetheless. And I do find that quite funny. But I got asked about that as well, like, what the hell's that? So, oh, it's just a power chord. It's like, well, it is and it isn't. I mean, it is, but it's a hell of a lot more difficult to play. But you might find it easier. So there's 3 alternatives there. Hopefully one can help you out if you're ever struggling. All right, see you next time.